this type of injury, like you don't know when I wake up, I'll feel, different than the day before. And
this is the first time we heard from Caitlin since the team announced on Memorial Day she was dealing with a left quad strain. She would be out for at least 2 weeks.
We were told that Clark was not seen in the open portion of practice by reporters who are on the ground there.
Just watch and absorb it, and it's the same when, I'm not active too.
Caitlin Clark's injury update was not what the league wanted to hear, and it sent shockwaves through the WNBA front office. The news landed hard because it exposed a reality the league has been trying to avoid for months.
We'll see. It could be a possibility, but I could also not be available for that game too. I think just having good perspective is the best way to approach it. Like, yeah, you can be frustrated and whatnot, but I think the medical team has done a really good job of...
This entire organization now depends on one woman, and they pushed her so relentlessly that she is no longer able to play or save their half-empty arenas. The fear on display tells the whole story.
Yeah, I'll be reevaluated this weekend, so I'll miss this weekend's game. But after that, it's, day by day and see how I feel and just kind of turn to the medical staff and what they...
Caitlin Clark finally spoke up, and to many people's surprise, she is not rushing back. Honestly, did anyone really expect her to return early to a league where she gets beaten up every night like it's a street fight, and now we're all supposed to act shocked that she's protecting herself?
I think the medical team has done a really good job of, doing my rehab every single day, staying in a routine, coming in, getting shots up. But more than anything, I think just focusing on being a really good teammate, being there for my teammates, being a voice for...
Clark went down holding her left quad on May 25th during a crucial showdown against the New York Liberty, the defending champions. That's your biggest draw, the face of the franchise, the centerpiece of the league, and somehow it felt like the league didn't treat it as a major concern.
We've been told so far by the team is that this is actually an injury that was separate from the quad tightness issue, as Caitlin Clark described it earlier in the preseason, that she dealt with before. So it's a little bit of interesting situation given that it was the same leg.
The Fever finally revealed on Memorial Day that she would be out for at least 2 weeks. Almost immediately, everything started to unravel, like the league was held together with Scotch tape. Clark herself said she'd miss the weekend's game and that her return would be day-to-day. Translation: don't hold your breath. She's not risking her career just so the league can keep exploiting her while offering zero protection.
Caitlin was asked when she's expected to come back. She told us she would be reevaluated after the weekend. After that, it would be day by day. The Fever are on the road for 2 road games before coming back to Gainbridge Fieldhouse next Saturday.
The reevaluation date is June 9th. And let's be real, no one is expecting a dramatic Marvel-style comeback. She's a human being, not a marketing machine, and this injury has clearly pushed her patience to the edge. Meanwhile, fans are furious, and the league seems content blaming gravity. The June 7th game against the Chicago Sky was supposed to be a blockbuster, but ticket prices collapsed, from over $80 to as low as $14. That's not a dip, that's a fire sale. Trips were canceled, refunds issued, and hotels said it wasn't even worth the gas money. And honestly, I don't blame fans for refusing to pay premium prices to watch Angel Reese run around like she's filming a Gatorade commercial, while the league's real star sits out with a torn quad.
Caitlin telling us she's been a connector between her coaches and teammates. They've gone 1-2 without her, and they'll be without her again this week.
Online, reality finally set in. Hashtags like Protect Our Players and Boycott WNBA went viral. One tweet with thousands of retweets summed it up perfectly. Why support a league that can't protect its brightest star? Fans are done being quiet. They're angry and they've got receipts.
So I think that's just kind of been the time for me to really find some patience, and I've never been a patient person my entire life, so this is definitely testing me a little bit, but I think it's going to be really good for me. And like I said, I've just tried to approach it in the best way I possibly can. I can't change it.
Fever ticket prices across the board plummeted, dropping from an average of $137 to around $80. This isn't a marketing issue. It's a league-wide meltdown that happens when the person representing your entire brand goes down, and everyone realizes there's no backup plan, just vibes.
The girl is spectacular. It's not like she's not a scrub. She's not only can play, she's a star caliber player who draws this attention.
The league essentially responded with a pat on the back instead of accountability, brushing off dangerous plays with the energy of, "Nice job nearly taking someone's head off. Here's a sticker." What are we doing here? The WNBA's evaluation process is so broken it might as well be run by a magic 8-ball. Between Carrington's reckless contact and Reese's manufactured drama, the games look more like WWE cosplay than professional basketball, while the league tweets motivational quotes from the sidelines.
When a player is injured, if the other team knows that a player is injured, they will go at that.
Call it what it is. Caitlin Clark is gone. The WNBA is exposed. The hype has faded. Seats are empty, and tickets cost less than a Happy Meal. Angel Reese is still playing up the celebrity rivalry, but without Caitlin, she's shouting into thin air. And Carrington is out there acting like players' heads are basketballs.
Just focusing on being a really good teammate, being there for my teammates, being a voice for them, because that's what I am when I'm playing. So you got to still be that consistent voice when I'm sitting on the bench. So I try to do that as much as I can for them. And just try to be there for them, I think, has been my focus.
Let's not sugarcoat this. This is negligence, and the league, not Clark, is responsible for fixing it. But judging by the current state of affairs, the only thing the WNBA is defending is its own denial. Once Caitlin left the court, fan enthusiasm evaporated, and the league's revenue model started collapsing. Arenas echoed like abandoned warehouses, and even the popcorn vendors looked bored.
Everything that you guys told us during the offseason about playing quick, playing with pace, pushing the ball up the court, everyone run, they weren't doing that, especially in the last.
The Indiana Fever went 1-2 without her. That lone win wasn't due to brilliant coaching or a sudden system breakthrough. It happened because Ari McDonald, signed on a hardship contract with no practice time, showed up and carried the team like she'd been there all season.
But for the Fever, one thing to keep in mind is that this is a sort of situation where the next 2 weeks, luckily for them, the schedule is a little bit playing the Chicago Sky, the Connecticut Sun, who haven't won yet. So they are trying to hold down the fort for now, while Caitlin Clark will be.
After Clark's injury, social media exploded. Fans wanted heads to roll. They demanded stricter officiating, real player protection, and a complete overhaul of how stars are treated. You'd think losing your most valuable asset would spark urgency. Instead, the league's response felt like, let's just hope nobody asks questions.
We were commenting that she was sick. You could hear it in her voice that she was sick. It seems like at this point, this is the reason why we haven't seen Caitlin at 100%. We haven't seen her as quick as we saw her last season.
Even Chicago Sky fans, who were hyped for Angel Reese's long-awaited rematch, openly admitted they were returning their tickets. One fan said it plainly, if Clark isn't playing, it's not worth it. That's the Clark effect in reverse. Fans skip games for their own team when the opposing star isn't there.
Covers up a lot of stuff when you're in the heat of battle. And after the game, I had some pain and then, got an MRI, and that kind of gave me the result that I didn't want to see. But, those type of things don't lie. So, yeah.
The phrase, this league is trash, without Clark didn't appear out of nowhere. Fans were furious about dirty plays, missed calls, and the total disappearance of the league's PR team. The moment accountability was required, the WNBA hit mute.
Think that it's going to be longer than 2 weeks. With them saying a minimum of 2 weeks, I feel like that's kind of just giving us breadcrumbs, just giving us enough information. And I actually don't think that they're going to give more for the sake of Kate.
Clips of body slams disguised as defense circulated everywhere. Analysts called it out. Chaos followed. And it exposed a deeper problem. The WNBA relies on too few stars to carry too many games. Where is the hype for Sabrina Ionescu? Where is the consistent push for Aya Wilson? If the league knew how to build multiple storylines, even Angel Reese's theatrics might have worked. Instead, everything hangs on a single cliffhanger.
We haven't seen her as quick as we saw her last season. If you have something going on in your legs, like your legs are actually a huge part of your shooting mechanics, something was thrown off. So if that part of her body was thrown off, it probably threw off the entire mechanic.
If you're looking for a defining turning point in WNBA history, this is it. When Caitlin Clark went down, everything collapsed: revenue, engagement, excitement. Fans aren't asking for cute statements anymore. They want answers. Why is the NBA using biometric tracking and load management while the WNBA relies on crossed fingers and YouTube highlights?
Caitlin Clark has been taking a beating for the last year and a half, and it quickly got physical early in this season, man, there was a lot of games.
The solution isn't complicated. Stop letting players get decked. Market more than one star. Invest in real player safety. Teach teams how to defend shooters without clotheslining them midair. No one wants a rushed comeback. And honestly, Caitlin shouldn't even consider returning until the league proves it can protect her. She's no longer just a player. She's the brand, the draw, the revenue engine, the ecosystem. Yet she's the one lying on the floor while the league shrugs. Clark may be on the bench, but her silence is louder than any buzzer. The WNBA can grow up now or watch its golden goose fly away for good.